The Sims 3 store has a reputation for being kind of overwhelming in terms of how much content there is on there, and for content being kind of expensive at times. You've likely asked yourself what items are actually worth the cost, especially when you have to buy them via the SimPoint currency. However, there's actually a bunch of content that you can find on the store for free, aside from just the world of Riverview, and you can get the premium items which bring new gameplay features for a lot cheaper when you get a little bit strategic with how you acquire them. Today, I'm going to share a handful of my favorite Sims 3 store items that I think are worth the money, including some free stuff, as well as some resources that will help you get them for a lot cheaper than they're usually listed for. Let's get started by going through the free items you can get on the Sims 3 store. Again, you can get the World of Riverview, which I've talked about before here on the channel, but I didn't realize until recently that there's actually a good amount of build, buy, and cast items that you can also download for completely free. Unlike the Sims 4 seasons, the season's expansion pack for The Sims 3 surprisingly didn't add a lot of holiday related items to build buy mode, but luckily the store can rectify this if you aren't a fan of custom content. So while a lot of these items may not necessarily add new gameplay, I think that being able to decorate for each holiday can help you feel more immersed in these in-game events, which can pass by a little unceremoniously at times. There are a lot of free sets here, but first, the holiday presents and more holiday presents sets add both a Christmas tree as well as a bunch of other festive themed items like present piles and wreaths and stockings. Next, the Harvest Bounty and Fall Fruition sets are very generically autumn themed. They are giving it's fall and I'm a Sunset Valley mom vibes, but I am here for it. If you want to get your Sims houses more kitted out for the Halloween season though, you can get 15 spooky build, buy, and cast items across the Happy Halloween, Gory Goodies, Halloween Treats, and More Halloween Treats sets. These are only a couple of sets that can be found on the store for free. A few players have helpfully compiled a list of them, so I'll have those linked below for you to check out. Loosely following from the spooky Halloween themed items just there, if you're a lover of the Supernatural expansion pack, here are 4 items you need to elevate your Arcane Sims magical lairs to the next level. However, the Supernatural pack is not required to use them. First is Lady Raven Dancer Goth's Book of Spells. I've only managed to get this item in-game without cheats in just one of my households because it costs 72,000 simoleons. A sim doesn't need to be a witch or a wizard to use it, but I think it would be a great way to expand the repertoire of any supernatural sim. The item lets you learn and practice a bunch of spells, including ones that let you summon sims and improve your needs, but it can also come with some consequences, so use them with caution or you might get cursed. It's also important to revise the spells you've learned in order to increase your chances of performing them successfully. You can actually use the enchant spell made available via the spellbook on the next item on this list, which is Lord Vladimir's Magic Cauldron, to see some cool effects. But outside of this, the cauldron can be used to conjure random ingredients and then brew them into potions. Unlike the regular alchemy station that comes with the Supernatural expansion pack, Lord Vladimir's Cauldron requires you to test adding different ingredients in order to discover new potion recipes. Some of the potions are admittedly a little bit generic in their effects, you know, like dropping a sim's hygiene need and stuff like that, but there are some other cool and quite unique ones, like a vanity potion that makes the affected sim just look at themselves in the mirror for ages, or one that lets the drinker quickly absorb all the books in their inventory. I learned the recipe for this one by chance while playing around with the item recently, and you can make it by adding a diamond, gold, and a black goldfish to the cauldron. Following the pattern of wreaking havoc on the lives of other sims, the malleable mimic voodoo doll can let you bless or curse the lives of those that are bound to it. Other effects include making the bound sim wet themselves and cursing them with hot feet. Generally, this is a fun one to add some extra magical chaos into your game. Lastly, the Soothsayer's Crystal Ball is perfect for sims who are in the fortune-telling profession, although it unfortunately doesn't seem to have any extra connections to the career, I don't think. However, it does still reflect the two sides of the quote-unquote real fortune teller or the scammer, which are the two branches of that career, as you have the option to tell sims an honest fortune or make up a bogus one. If you have sims with the evil, grumpy, or mean traits, they actually, or perhaps unsurprisingly, enjoy telling bogus fortunes to other sims. Sims can obviously also read their own fortune, and receiving a fortune can result in your sims either getting a lucky or unlucky moodlet. All of these items can be purchased from the Sims 3 store in one set called the Enchanted Bundle of Dark Dealings for around about 1,800 sim points, which sounds quite steep, although it does include a few other miscellaneous casts and built to buy items. With all of that said though, these 4 premium content items can be bought individually for cheaper if you prefer. Now, I mentioned earlier that there are some ways that you can get these sets for cheaper. There are also methods that you can use to get them for nothing at all, but I'm not talking about those here. I don't want to get sued by EA. But the way to get them for cheaper is via the daily deals section on the store. Here, items will go on a pretty decent discount for a few hours on a set rotation that takes a good couple of weeks to run through. To plan out when to check out the site to buy what you want, check out the community-made daily deals spreadsheet that I've left linked below. This breaks down exactly how much an item will go on sale for, so you can plan how many sim points you need and precisely when it will go on sale depending on your time zones. Trust me, it's an absolute lifesaver. Now let's move from the magical to the totally ordinary. Aside from playing with magic in The Sims 3, another of my favorite playstyles is going down the living off the land route, and I've got a bunch of store content items that really help create that homesteading lifestyle. First up is the Fowl and Feathers chicken coop. Regularly feeding the chickens will eventually produce you eggs, including some pretty rare coloured ones which can be sold for a good amount of change. As life on the farm can be busy, don't worry if you forget to collect the eggs every so often, because you'll just end up with some adorable chicks to play with. They'll stick around for a little while before you get the notification telling you that they've flown the coop. Chickens apparently also make pretty decent conversation partners. You can ask them some kind of deep philosophical questions or even argue with your own evil chicken, Charles. Now, what farm would be complete without cows? The Milk in It Dairy Corral lets you produce milk, cheese, and even chocolate milk or milkshakes. The sadistic among you can even tip the cow, which is giving me some weird Sims 2 nostalgia vibes. And if you fancy testing your Sims' intelligence, then you can play a game of tic-tac-hoof against them too. This item is especially great if you're playing on a bigger lot because the corral takes up a good amount of space. You can pick up these items for 456 and 495 sim points respectively. Now, speaking of needing a big lot, you absolutely need one to use this next item, which is the Grandpa's Grove tractor. Taking care of a garden in The Sims 3 can take an absurd amount of time, and I know some players use mods to speed this process up, but this can actually be done vanilla style with this tractor that runs along a grid system to water, weed, fertilize, and harvest nearby plants en masse. It's very cute because you can also take Sims for hay rides, although it would have been nice to see some new animations for climbing into and out of the tractor because they kind of just fade in and out of it. This item is a little bit more expensive at 733 sim points, but I'd recommend getting it as part of the Grandpa's Grove venue set when it's on sale in the daily deals, because this lot is genuinely stunning and it comes with a bunch of pre-grown plants and the tractor track already built, although you can of course make your own fully custom one if you like to. But now that you have all of this produce and way more free time, what are your Sims gonna do with it? Well, first you could try baking them into pies or cobblers using the baker's station, where you can also make a bunch of other baked goods like bread and cupcakes. Unfortunately, nowadays you can only buy it as part of the deliciously indulgent bakery venue set, which also includes a stunning lot like Grandpa's Grove, and that set costs 1,900 sim points. Again, try getting this one on sale if you're really keen to have it in your game, but this set can let you open and run your own bakery as a side hustle, which I've made a video on that if you want to learn a little bit more about my thoughts on that. And I think that using the baking station is generally such a fun hobby and another way for your Sims to raise their cooking skills. Along similar lines to this is Grandma's canning station. I don't know why Grandpa gets to ride the tractor and Grandma is trapped inside slaving over the stove, but hey. This item comes with the Brunch at the Old Mill venue set, costing 1,700 sim points. The canning station lets you process your harvestables into jams and preserves, which I believe sell for a base price of 100 simoleons each, so it can be a great way to earn some extra cash from your lower value produce. Aside from selling them, your Sim can also eat the jams, which is quite cute, again if you're going down that homesteading, living off the land route. There are actually a bunch more farming related items that you can pick up from the Sims 3 store, which I've talked about in this video on the screen just here, so check it out for more of my top Sims 3 store picks. But let me know, do you have any of these items in your game? If so, what do you think of them? If not, what are your top Sims 3 store picks? Do let us know. But other than that guys, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you again soon.